Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I think a larger issue is at play between the Golden Bachelorette's Joan Vassos and Chalk Chapel's long-term success, besides Joan's Wichita relocation backlash. I believe a larger issue is at play between the Golden Bachelorette couple Joan Vassos and Chalk Chapel's long-term success besides their relocation issues. Joan originally appeared in the Golden Bachelor Season 1, where she was one of 22 women vying for lead Jerry Turner's heart. Joan got a coveted one-on-one date with Jerry that solidified her as a frontrunner. However, she left the next day due to a family emergency, but she left such an impact on producers and viewers that she was chosen as the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 lead. Joan had 24 suitors in her season. Chalk was an early favorite of Joan's, and they kept their romantic momentum throughout the competition, with Joan ultimately giving Chalk her final rose. Since getting engaged during the finale, Joan and Chalk have been trying to build their life together, although I've seen them encounter many obstacles. Currently, I know they are mapping out where they want to spend their time as a couple, while navigating other factors such as family involvement, public scrutiny, their career trajectories, and holding their place in Bachelor Nation. But I see one issue standing out among the rest. Joan, 62, is from Rockville, Maryland, where she is the matriarch of her close-knit family. Chalk, 61, has his roots in Wichita, Kansas, where his children and family reside. Since their engagement, I've watched the couple try to figure out how to navigate their long-distance relationship, but I don't think it's going well. Originally, they had the intention of traveling between Maryland and Kansas to see each other, but also decided on buying a place in New York City, where they would spend quality couple time. However, I've noticed the pair have been quiet about that NYC settlement ambition recently. What I've seen actually happen is Joan spending more time in Kansas than Chalk has in Maryland, which has led to suspicion that Chalk wants Joan there permanently. Joan has gone back to Maryland several times recently without Chalk, which makes me think that Joan is the one making the most sacrifices. She stated on the Golden Bachelorette that she wanted a partner that fit into her lifestyle, and I don't see that happening. This last week, Joan has been in Kansas once again. This time, she's taking care of Chalk as he recovers from eye surgery. I don't believe that the Golden couple intended on having this much chaos when it comes to where they have their time together and how much separation from her family Joan was going to have. But it is cause for concern. Aside from traveling between Maryland, Kansas, and NYC, Joan and Chalk go on vacations together, like to Mexico and Northern California, and they attend Bachelor Nation events together as well. I've witnessed a lot of Golden Bachelorette fans voice their discontent with Joan and Chalk's arrangement for maintaining their romantic connection. There has been backlash over Joan being in Kansas with Chalk most of the time, and I feel her time spent there could mean that's where they'll end up. Kansas is more centrally located for everything the pair does, but I know it's not what Joan had initially envisioned, which is why there is pushback from fans. Joan and Chalk are also plagued by the difficulty blending their families. The Golden Match were only able to step out as a couple in mid-November 2024 due to NDAs and contractual roadblocks, but it was just in time for the holidays. Chalk spent Thanksgiving and Christmas with Joan's family in Maryland, but I've noticed since then, Joan has been in Kansas with Chalk's friends and family, and I don't think it's a good sign Chalk hasn't been back to visit Joan's family. During the holidays, Joan made what I felt was a concerning remark about family blend. While Joan didn't expand on what she meant, I'm certain it has to do with the lack of smooth sailing they've encountered trying to incorporate both their families into their relationship. When Chalk met Joan's kids in Tahiti, they expressed concern over Chalk's intentions, and I don't think they are convinced their mom's engagement is working all that well. In the above Instagram post from Joan and Chalk, they discussed the hurdles they've been encountering trying to plan a dual family trip to Disneyland. They have to take into consideration schedules and logistics for the trip, and both of them looked overwhelmed by the upcoming feat. The inability to lead an easy life as a couple with regard to their family blending is a huge red flag for me. Since family is so important to both of them and they, but mostly Joan, are making sacrifices surrounding that, I can understand the public backlash over fans' unsettled views on the pair's long-term viability. While the long-distance and family blending issues, I believe, are big points of contention that threaten Joan and Chalk's longevity as a couple, another issue stands out as potentially more damaging to me. Joan and Chalk have been spending a considerable amount of time launching their influencer careers. I feel they are spending too much time trying to capitalize on their golden bachelorette fame and not enough time on figuring out the chaotic nature of their romance. I recognize that the reality TV trend for cast members is to have social media engagement, but I think they are going overboard. They should be focusing on coming up with a better solution to the distance and family issues at the center of their union and less focused on their career ambitions and relishing the spotlight. I fear Joan and Chalk will become too plagued by the logistical problems and ultimately break up. There's no denying the spark between Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos and fan favorite Chalk Chapel. From their playful banter during week 3's pickleball showdown to their intimate rooftop wine date under a blushing Santa Barbara sunset, viewers have been rooting for their late-blooming love story. But as we head into the season's final stretch, the once fairy tale connection has started to wobble, not just because Joan is hesitant to leave her East Coast roots for Chalk's beloved Wichita, Kansas. No, the real crack in the foundation might not be geographical at all. It's emotional gravity, and it's pulling them in two different directions. The story beneath the story. On the surface, the tension seems centered around Joan's now viral comment during last week's group date. "I just don't know if I'm a Wichita kind of woman." The internet exploded. Kansas natives were quick to defend their sunflower-filled paradise, while others saw her comment as a metaphor for something deeper. And they might be onto something. Because Joan's hesitation about relocating isn't just about zip codes, it's about identity. Joan Vassos is not your typical retiree. She's a sharp, self-possessed woman who spent the last decade reshaping her life after loss. She raised 4 kids, survived the storm of widowhood, and even went viral on TikTok for her laugh-out-loud Golden Girl confessionals. She's found power in reclaiming her independence, and now she's being asked to surrender some of it again, not just for love, but for someone whose worldview might not totally align with hers. Chalk Chapel, on the other hand, is a classic Midwestern romantic. He's sweet, stable, and maybe a little too traditional. The guy brings flowers, opens doors, and wears loafers with no-show socks. His hometown date was like something out of a Norman Rockwell painting: home-cooked casserole, porch swing kisses, and a dog named Murphy. And while the world fell in love with Chalk's salt-of-the-earth charm, there were whispers even then. Is he too grounded for Joan? The power struggle of settling down. Joan has already settled down once. She married young, raised a family, and buried a husband. For her, this next chapter isn't about roots, it's about wings. She's looking for love that expands her, not tethers her. Her idea of a dream retirement involves Mediterranean cruises, volunteering in Morocco, and dancing barefoot at indie music festivals. Meanwhile, Chalk seems perfectly content with weekly trivia nights at his favorite Wichita bar and rewatching NCIS reruns on his porch. It's not that one lifestyle is better than the other. It's that they may be fundamentally mismatched, and the pressure of the show's accelerated timeline isn't helping. Joan's struggle isn't just about whether she can be happy in Wichita. It's about whether she can be herself in Wichita with him. The compatibility gap, realer than roses. In her confessional after the hometown date, Joan said something that struck a chord. "I like Chalk. I really, really like Chalk. But I don't know if he sees all of me, the messy parts, the wild parts." It was subtle, but it was a red flag waving gently in the breeze. Because Chalk does love Joan. But does he love this Joan? The one who doesn't always want to play it safe. The one who might trade Thanksgiving at the country club for a silent retreat in the desert? Joan, for all her poise, is still evolving. And Chalk. He seems to have completed his evolution already. He knows what he wants. The question is, does he know what she wants?